Hey, what's going on, working class hustlers of America and all over the globe? It's your main man, Horace, also known as La Machine. This is what to sell on Amazon, and this is where we go live to talk about last week's video, anything that you may have wanted to ask, anything we may have missed. We're here as a panel. We call ourselves the Working Class Hustlers of America, and as usual, we're here for your benefit, so do please take advantage. If you took the time to come here, then why not take advantage? And if you have any questions as it pertains to your Amazon arbitrage business, we would like to address those situations for you. So anything you have, that's what we're here for. Why don't we start for anyone who's currently out here with us? We can't tell that you're here until you drop a comment and let us know your name and where you're from so that you can be acknowledged. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to sort of get us going here. If, number one, my sales had been going up, they sort of leveled off and maybe tapered a little bit down. What about my other panelists? We have the lovely Miss Karen, and we also have Miss Sarah Mack. So how you guys doing, first of all?
How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing good on sales. They're pretty steady. I'm a little bit worried about some Halloween inventory I have. I feel like we're on the last week to sell Halloween stuff, and it hasn't sold yet, so that's a worry for me this week. So I'm kind of dropping those prices.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even do much with Halloween this year, and the little bit that I did get didn't sell. So you know what? I'm gonna just hold off on that, unless at the last minute, and it could happen at the last minute. Somebody could order it, but otherwise I'm just going to hold it in my inventory, and I'm going to get it in FBA probably next year around August. That way it's out there long enough. We just added one of our panelists, the lovely Miss Tradina.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Let's kind of look and see who's we got Jose Sanchez from Columbus. We got WV from Miami. We got Nilton Silviera. Looks like we got Carlene. EB, we just got off a quick call. So and EB had some issues going on with Inventory Lab, so we might address anything that he wants to add. We got Valerie Welsh from Miami. We got a lot of Florida in the house. Dynamic Picker, and we have the Miss Katie from London. Thank you all for joining and letting us know. Everybody, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, a like. Make sure you share in case there's someone that could benefit from this information. And as I was saying, my sales aren't so great as of last week. Karen, how are yours?
My sales aren't great either. I'm hoping that we're in the quiet before the storm. That's how I'm choosing. The calm before the storm. That's how I'm choosing to view this. So we will see. But
and to the working class hustlers that may not know what we're talking about, you got to understand, guys, this is real. We're not out here. We're here right now, this very minute, for your benefit. We've taken time out of our busy schedules because we care about you. And the great thing for you is to see real people that are doing this and understanding sales are going to be up and they're going to be down. This is a business, guys. This is a business. We are not the panelists that you're looking at right here. We're not hobbyists. We're doing this, and this is how we're eating. So you have to understand. But when when Karen says the calm before the storm, we're just getting into Q4. And for those of you who really want to get some good information, the video coming out for this coming Friday is going to be certain steps that newbies would want to take to have a great and prosperous Q4. That's going to be huge. Karen decided to put together some wonderful extra tools for your benefit, so you don't want to miss it. You really don't. That's just a little preview for the Working Class Hustlers and for our panelists. We all enjoy when we come together to put out valuable content. We all benefit from that. Ain't that right, panelists?
I had time to do it because my sales are in the tank. No, they're not in the tank. They're just not as high as they were in July, August, September. So
the dynamic duo was gracious enough to join us, even though we went earlier than normal. Hey. And they're all the way from Vegas now. That's dedication right there.
Yeah, it is.
So, let's get some questions, hustlers. Let's get some engagement here. We want to know what it is how your business is doing. We want to know, where you are in this. What issues are you having? Let's talk it over. The video from last Friday is in the link in the description. That was about retail arbitrage at Big Lots, and I got some interesting comments about that from people saying, hey, I always leave empty-handed out of there, to Nate and Elizabeth was telling us all kinds of ways to save money in there, all types of discounts, whether you're a first responder, a nurse, a firefighter, whether you're military, both prior, retired, or active, whether you are AAA, whether you are AARP. There's just all sorts of ways to save money. Or like what I was saying, I went in there with a 20% coupon because I'm a member of their free, rewards program or whatever. And they allow you to stack coupons in there. I stacked my 20% with the 8% military discount. Well, that changed the game, guys. When you walk in, you got to remember, when you're walking in that store sourcing, there are people all over walking into that store sourcing. How are you going to separate yourself? Well, you got to be able to get it a little cheaper sometimes. You got to be doing some things that other people don't. You got to do today what others don't to have tomorrow what others won't. And they're looking at things and saying, oh, there's not enough margin in it. You're looking at that same item and saying, with my 20% plus my 8%, that's almost 30%. Oh, that's a good one for me. And then they get to watch you and say, how does he do it? How does he know? Let's see what we got here. Let's see, from WV, what is the average fee charge for store a small item that... Oh, okay, I think they're asking the storage fees on that. We would have to know the dimensions, but on a small item, it's not going to be much. You can go out in Seller Central, and I'm going to turn it over to the panelists if anybody has anything to add, but it's not going to be much. It's nominal. But you can see what the monthly charge is if you go right into your Seller Central account, and you can just type in, storage fees, and you get the whole breakdown. Any panelists want to weigh in on that?
And remember, the fees jump for Q4.
Ooh, that's right. Yeah.
So if it hasn't sold in 9 months, I would drop that price and move it.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the programs also have an estimator too. Sometimes when you go to scan it and you do the breakdown, it'll give you an estimated storage fee too. So you kind of know.
Be careful, hustlers. Do not jump right now. We're going into Q4. There's some things that change in Q4, and we're going to be talking about that, Karen and I, next week. There's certain things you got to be thinking about because the whole game changes Q4. The way people shop online is different in Q4. They have a whole nother agenda Typical, the agenda is, well, let's read some reviews. Let's see how much money I got. Can I really afford this? Let's do some buyer's remorse. Blah, 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 blah. Q4, I got to get these gifts so I can get on with the other stress that I call holiday spirit. Let's see what else we got. Milton Silviera just sent in my biggest shipment so far. 110 units. Congratulations from the Working Class Hustler panel to you. I have a bunch of products I need to turn into bundles. Do you guys shrink wrap your bundles? I'm going to let Nate and Elizabeth talk about bundling. They're asking, do you shrink wrap your bundles?
We do not. We tape them. I put them in a poly bag and then I put tape wrap around them now.
Poly bag and tape.
The clear bundles. Poly bags. Yeah, the clear bags.
Okay, hustlers, I'm writing down anything that we can add. If you guys have not already signed up to get the Working Class Hustler cheat sheet, that cheat sheet is growing. It's getting better. It started out looking kind of rough, but if you're on the list, you've noticed we've improved the layout. We'll continue. Gonna love it, and it's gonna turn into the Working Class Hustler handbook. This is so exciting. Did anybody else have anything to add when it comes to how you prepare your bundles?
I don't do.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say I don't do bundles. I do multi-pack.
Can you unpack that for the hustlers? What's the difference?
The distinction is bundles would be a multi-pack would be multiples of a specific item, like 5 packs of the very same toothpaste. A bundle might be shampoo, conditioner, and a little brush that that are sold together. So I haven't done bundles. I hope to at some point, but so far I haven't. Sarah, how about you? Do you do any bundles?
Not yet. That is on my list to look at in 2022. I've been researching a lot about bundles, and I do think that is a lucrative area. So if you have stuff to bundle, definitely do it. I right now put my multi-packs just in bags. I just invested in a shrink wrapping machine. I cannot figure out how to use it.
Is it one like I use? Have you seen me using them in the video?
Is it with the impulse sealer?
No.
Okay, I have the one you push down the lever and it seals it with heat, and then you take a heat gun. I got it off a U-line.
Oh well, yeah, that is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it looks.
It's a technique.
Yeah, it is.
What made you guys decide that it was time to get a shrink wrapper? I don't have a shrink wrapper.
I'll take and then I'll turn it over. I initially got on Amazon way back in 2008, and at that time I came onto their platform. I was doing nothing but bodybuilding supplements. That's what my business was. So all the time I was sending in protein bars and things that come in perforated boxes, and I was part of that initial group where Amazon was learning and changing as they started having problems like protein bars falling out all over the place and them having to recoup them. And I was doing such volume when it came to those types of goods that I had to go to a machine. I even thought about getting a bigger deal with the whole conveyor and all that. Nah, I wasn't ready for that. And any other panelists want to share why they decided to get that? Sarah, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I got it. I do a lot of textiles, clothing, shoes, and I just thought it would look more professional than the flap and the sticky, which I don't always set right in my opinion. Sometimes I'm struggling with getting it straight and not getting it on the product. So I was just trying to get a more professional look and move faster. And some of those bulky items, I got the really wide one. I think it's like 20 or 24 inches, just trying to encompass some of the larger stuff. I'll give a good tip. always buy the larger sizes if you're doing clothing or shoes. They will sell like crazy. Larger shoes, plus size
That's a
items,
good tip.
big and tall for men.
Yes.
They sell much
The large
faster than the
jackets.
smaller sizes.
Wow.
But they're
One
often
of
hard
the
to fit
things
in bags.
on the bundles, the bundle question, if I can get in there, I want to say, let the gentleman want to know about the bundles. Lots of do not separate stickers on each side during Q, just to protect you, because they're going to be slicing bags. So you want lots, because a lot of stuff is coming in. So you want everything to be on your side, so they don't slice your bag open, and then your bundle's not a bundle anymore. It's just pieces. It's up in stranded. And we have the shrink wrapper, but we don't use it as much. We found it helpful to use it that way. You don't have to carry a large amount of bags, different sizes. It's very easy because you can pretty much custom shrink wrap a product. Say like Sarah said, like shoes, extra large shoes, or those extra large or 3X jackets.
That is like huge, because I wasn't even sure on those. Sometimes I was thinking, sometimes I'll notice the price is higher on a real small shoe size, and I'm thinking, what's up with that? I was always thinking maybe the smaller sizes, particularly with shoes, could be a good one, but I don't know. Let me say something real quick. You guys, if you follow this show, you know how I am. Of the panelists, I'm kind of the one that I walk the line. I walk a tight line on what's allowable and what's not. Just my personality. We all have our personalities, and we bring that into the different things that we do in life. You might recall, you might not. I did a video. Where was I sourcing? I was sourcing at Kohl's, and I sourced these Nike shoes. And in the video, I showed how I just dropped the box of shoes in a poly bag, zipped it, slapped the label on it, and out the door. And I started getting comments, "Oh, you don't want to do that. How would you feel if your shoes showed up in a poly bag, blah, blah, blah." Let me tell you guys, all of them sold, not one return. Hell, one of the boxes was even mangled. Not a problem. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do it, but I love to show both sides. I come from the idea of things aren't as complicated as we make them out to be sometimes. We all love a good horror story, but it does not mean it's going to be one for you. Let's see what else we got here. What happens if you're on a listing that is sold as per item 1 and the owner of the listing changes it to 2? That does happen, doesn't it? Anybody want to take that?
Whoa.
That does happen.
Close it immediately.
Yeah, get out of there.
I can tell you.
Close it. Get out of town fast.
Did you have something to add?
I do. For us, we had a listing that it was one item, and it was reasonably priced. We were making about $270, $275 per item. And then all of a sudden, somebody jumped on and tanked the price. They not only they were FBA. They not only tanked it, they had probably over 100 of them in stock. Because you tanked our price, and it was my listing, I changed it to a 2-pack.
That's cold-blooded.
They changed the price to where I was losing money, and it was my listing. So there have been times where we create a listing and somebody gets on it and we lose the buy box. That's fine. I'll let you get your money. There's enough for everybody. But I'm going to lose money because you bought over 100 some odd units and no. So They ended up, I'm quite sure they had to recall all of that product and send it back in.
If they really had 100, a lot of times, I don't know what these sellers are doing. Sometimes they like to change their quantities to real high numbers. I don't know if that's a game, thinking that they're going to get favor with Amazon over that. I'm not sure.
How would
But
they do that with FBA though?
yeah, how could they? You're right.
No, you can't do it with
Don't
FBA.
No, not with FBA, because this said prime.
Elizabeth don't play, so
No, I'll share. I will share. I'm telling you, we will share. But we're not gonna lose money if it's our listing. No, I'm not losing money. No.
I want to say thank you to Russell Air, so gracious and kind to donate a little bit to the cause here. We really, really appreciate it. Guys, you got to think, we're out here each and every week. Each of these panelists are doing this out of the kindness of their hearts every week. Myself, my producer, Jim, you don't see him, but trust and believe he's watching. He's the guy that edits all of my videos. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't even be doing this. We're creating content all the time. So when someone is, I don't ask, but if someone is kind enough to donate a little bit, that is wonderful. So we want to say thank you from the Working Class Hustler panel, from Jim and everybody. Thank you so much for that.
That was awesome.
It was. Let's see what we got.
Thank you.
Real Pearl. Make sure everybody, wow, we're doing good. We got 22 viewers. We only got 10 likes. We need to get those to match. So if you haven't hit your thumbs up, please, please, please hit that for us. Real Pearl says, this question may be for Karen as it relates to QuickBooks. Does QuickBooks integrate with Seller Central?
I don't know if it integrates directly. However, I have Seller Central connected to my bank account, which is connected to QuickBooks. And so it happens in that way. So they're connected sort of indirectly.
Okay.
So all my Amazon deposits show as Amazon deposits in QuickBooks. Everything that Amazon draws from me shows as a draw from QuickBooks.
Okay.
In QuickBooks.
Good deal. Go Pappy Go. That's my producer, Jim. For anybody who might be interested in producing videos themselves, he has a channel where he teaches all that kind of stuff. If you want to know how to do all of the jazz you see on my channel, he's the one doing all that stuff. But he mentioned just being in the military for any amount of time qualifies for a discount. Now in Pennsylvania, where we are, you can have that designator put on your driver's license. I'm pretty sure all states are in line with that. You will need to be able to show something, but if you have an honorable discharge, you're good to go.
Yep.
Milton wants to.
Most places will take your VA card from the hospital. If you don't have the designation on your license, like I have it on my license, and I also have my VA card, and my VA card says service connected. So some places will give a larger discount as well to service connected. So it just depends. As long as you have something showing your face and you were in the service, they'll take that.
And don't forget your CDL.
Oh yeah, that's right. That CDL. We forgot all about that.
Right, that's another one.
That's one I wouldn't have even. We need to put that on the cheat sheet.
And you can stack that CDL discount too.
Do you know how much that is, Nate?
10%.
Oh
Most
my God.
places, yeah.
Yes.
Most places is 10%.
I just played myself.
Oh yeah.
Out of 10%. That's huge.
Maybe I need to go out and
Instead
get a
of
CDL.
28%,
I don't know.
I could have got. Oh my goodness! I could have got 38%.
That's right. Walk right out with it.
You guys got to think, if there's a tax situation in your state, that discount just nullifies the tax. And if all you get out of it is basically not having to pay tax, you just changed the whole game.
Still save money.
Yeah. I mean, imagine all of your shopping at a store tax-free. That's a big deal.
And also remember, some of these places where we go shopping have digital coupons. If you're not using a digital coupon, I'm going to give you my Cash App so you can just send me that money because you're flushing it down the toilet.
That's right.
You are literally flushing money down the toilet. I'll give you an example. We just went to Albertsons. That's like a Giant Eagle or
Right.
Publix or something like that. It's a big grocery store. They have digital coupons. on average, we save anywhere between $50 to $150 when we do our bi-weekly grocery shopping. That's just from a digital coupon. It takes me 5 to 10 minutes online on their app, click all the little buttons, and I don't have to do anything because once it scans at the register, it automatically comes off. You don't have to cut anything. You don't have to bring paperwork to the store. It's a digital coupon. So the stores that you frequent, check to see if they offer digital coupons.
Do you guys shop at CVS? I know
Yes.
when you walk
Yep.
in there, there's actually a kiosk
A machine,
for
yes.
that. That'll spit them out and all this, and you can have multiple accounts. I've heard.
And you can stack coupons there too. You can do the printout from CVS as well as have a paper coupon that you get from the newspaper
and
and
stack
put them
them.
together. Like
Wow.
Walgreens, they have a booklet that they bring out every month. It's got a bunch of coupons for the month. So they will let you use their coupons plus a printed manufacturer coupon. Either you can print it online from a legitimate source or you get it from a newspaper and you can put them together.
That's amazing. I want to thank Katie. She just donated a few British pounds.
That's nice.
I want to say thank you for that. We love you. Linda says, when you changed the listing, did you think about the negative feedback from customers that you may get on that listing? You know what I'm thinking? I'm not sure. We need to unpack that, Linda. What is she talking about when Elizabeth changed that listing?
I think so.
Because a lot of times what will happen is some customers might get confused in that transition. They were thinking they were going to get one thing and then another, and then you get the negative feedback. I'm not sure.
I'm not getting negative feedback. Yeah, that's not
person's problem.
The person who continues to send one when she changed it to two would get the negative feedback.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
No, if I'm on somebody else's listing, we check them quite often throughout the week because we've had that happen where someone changed the listing. They added an additional item, they changed it into a multi-pack, or even they changed it to a bundle. They went from the product plus a completely different item but in the same family. Nothing we can do about that. We had to bring our stuff back and try again. So it's a cost of doing business. If you're using somebody else's listing, you have to pay attention and check on it every now and then to make sure it's still the same.
The next question is one of my favorite. I'm gonna take this first and then let the panelists have at it. The question is, what is the probability that I can sell an item that Amazon is the only seller and Amazon has 1,000 units? I will have to wait until Amazon sells everything to get the buy box. Now let me explain to you. Number one, if Amazon is the only seller, you better be sure that you're not going to get an IP complaint on that. Okay, if they're the only one, it's a good chance. Well, it's a considerable chance. You got to know. But I wanted to take this personally because I tend to jump on a lot of those types of listings, and what I have learned is that Amazon will share. They're going to take the lion's share of the sales. But I have never had a problem. As long as I can be competitive, whatever the price Amazon is at, you better be at least within 2% of that, in my experience. And they don't care if you're a little bit higher or a little bit lower. I usually go right in where Amazon is, and it's no problem. Particularly, I do it a lot with clothing. I love sourcing at Kohl's because you build up Kohl's cash, and now you just walked into a store and you're getting things for free. You can't lose, guys. We need another video about Kohl's, but I really want you to think when you walk into a store and you're getting things that you paid nothing for, you can't lose. Okay, so you got to think. You're a professional shopper. That means you can accumulate Kohl's cash that the average customer just cannot do because they're not buying in the volume that you buy in. But that's what I wanted to say about being on the same listing with Amazon. If you can price it right where they are, if it's not an IP issue, you can sell with them. Amazon does not get into price wars. Whatever they have priced it at, that's where it typically stays. I haven't seen them change. If I go lower, they say fine, sell yours. They're getting paid either way. They ain't gonna lose.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
does anybody else have anything to add about jumping on a listing where Amazon is the only seller? They're showing a lot of units, and I'm not even sure if Amazon's unit count is always accurate. So,
check the keep chart as well, because if it's a product they run out of often, absolutely jump on it. Because sometimes they have some stocking problems themselves, so 2 months from now it may be yours.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Linda says that's what she was wondering about with that whole whatever. What were we talking about? Negative feedback. So yeah, guys, make sure if you would like to get connected with me, La Machine, text the number that you see on your screen to text the words Working Class Hustler to the number on your screen. We'll get connected. You'll go through an automated little questionnaire, and once you're in, you can start asking me questions, and we'll get you going with that. Just like I had a guy, we were able to hop on a quick call right before we went live. One of the things that was brought out in that conversation, a lot of times you hear us talking about the software Inventory Lab. We don't stress it. I think we sort of take it for granted. If you're going to use that software, and we have videos about it, we all the panelists here would recommend it. You have to understand, a lot of people don't realize, some people think that once you go into Inventory Lab, when it comes to creating shipments, people think sometimes you're going to be in Inventory Lab from start to finish. No, you're not. You're in Inventory Lab all the way up until it's time to actually box that shipment up, print the labels. At that point, Inventory Lab forwards that shipment into Seller Central, and then you need to go into Seller Central to finish it out. And at that point, what you're going to do is agree to the shipping cost and go ahead and print the labels out. Does anybody have anything to add about that? Inventory Lab, maybe? No? Okay. Let's see if we got any more questions. Looks like Nate already took this one. Oh, this is a good one too. What is a good number of items to send in when you're testing a product? And Nate said 5 to 10. You want to unpack that? Why would you pick that number? It might be obvious, but let's just unpack it.
5 to 10. It's a good number, because if you send in 5, or if you even FBM them, if they go quick, you got a hot product. Now 10, 5 to 10, you could, if it's 10, if it's bad, you can get rid of 10.
Then you didn't waste that much money.
Right. You didn't go deep on things. And that's what happens. A lot of people go deep on things that they shouldn't go deep on, and then they get stuck. So you want to test it. Testing, that's what you're doing. You're testing to see if it's going to go. And that's a good number, 5 to 10.
A good way to test is when you're at the store and you have it in your cart to purchase, list it as FBM. Sometimes there have been probably 2 or 3 different products that we got. We put it on while we were in the store, and before we actually got home, they sold. We turned right back around and went back for more. It doesn't always happen like that. But if you're going to do a test, you can either do it that way or just send the minimum amount in and see what happens.
But no, don't go deep. Don't go deep. 5 to 10, that's good.
But guys, listen to what Nate and Elizabeth were just saying. You could buy a product, already have it listed, merchant fulfill, and it sells before you even get turned around. You got to think about that. People come into this business and all they're thinking is FBA. Well, that's what everybody's thinking. Okay, if you're going to do a little bit something different, you're going to get a little something different. You see what I'm saying? So, and if you know that product is popular, merchant fulfill is definitely going to sell FBA.
Yeah. Even with the shipping rates that have went up, and we were going to say something about the shipping rates went up. you still can make profit FBM if it's going like that. We found a product today, and I wish I would have got 10 more. So it's just that it's like that because they're gone.
One tip if you're new and you're not sure on the shipping, if it's under £1, it's usually under $6 to ship from coast to coast. We're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
If it's £1 or over, it just depends on the dimensions. It can go anywhere from $7 to $20, $30, $40, depending on how big and how heavy. Now the padded USPS prepaid bags, we use them a lot. Not anymore.
Yeah,
they
with
used
the
to
new
be
rate.
$8. They're $8.75 now.
Now, is that with the temporary increase with the post office? Okay.
Yes.
So we talked about that, guys. There's an increase right now. The post office put that out during Q4. So
yeah, I went to ship something in this bag. As a matter of fact, yesterday, and it should have been $8, but when it came up $8.75, and then there was the priority mail option was just like $8.10. I've never had where regular priority was less than the padded envelope.
Wow.
Unless your item is super heavy, if you happen to have an item that's small and really heavy, it weighs 4 pounds, then it might still be worth it to look at the padded flat rate envelope, but otherwise, I'm with you.
If it fits, it ships. If it's heavy, yeah, I agree. I would use that bag as well.
Hustlers out here, make sure you hit the thumbs up, share. I'm going to take this real quick. WV is asking about that Kohl's video I did about $100 in free products. That money comes from purchases and cash back that you buy. The free money came in what Kohl's calls Kohl's Cash. That's something free that you can sign up for, and then you earn a certain amount in Kohl's Cash every time you spend. You need to be enrolled. It needs to be active. It's not a problem. You can see that even before you buy. You can see what that's going to gain you in Kohl's Cash. That Kohl's Cash is available at a certain time, and then they do expire, and that's their whole deal, to encourage you to buy more. But in your case, it's good to be encouraged to buy more because you're getting more free money, and that's a great place to source products. I don't really have problems with things getting to me damaged. I get a lot of damage from Walmart, damage from Target. Kohl's they're very good at packing products. Now and then they'll use a third-party shipper that screws it up, because I live in an area with Amish people and horses and buggies, and it can be a little weird trying to find my place. But other than that, let's see. We got another question from Dynamic Picker. I was quoted $748 for liability insurance for New York. Is it not a bit high? All right, panel. Who wants it? They want to know.
Not too high. It's not too high. It's not too high.
Think of
it's not too high at all.
$62 a month. So for $62 a month, and you're doing over $10,000 in sales if you're getting that insurance. That is not much for the cost of business. And
right. It's not too high.
It seems just about on par with everybody else that I know of that has the insurance. Maybe $100 less, possibly. That could be possible, but then it just depends on the policy and what you're choosing to have coverage for.
Right.
So if you have a really full complement, for instance, I have coverage that not only covers the liability required by Amazon, but I also have coverage if my products are damaged in transit or damaged with, if my basement floods and I lose products. That's coverage covered, but that's a choice. So it just depends. You can always ask, if there's any way to trim the cost and see if you're willing to make that trade off. But sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Mm-hmm.
The panelists, for those that are paying attention to this little portion, the panelists brought out, number one, you are required to have this insurance if you're doing $10,000 or more a month in sales. I think we all here would recommend, as soon as it's feasible, to go ahead and get the insurance anyway. This is a business.
Yes.
Things happen, and it's really, and even Sarah mentioned, figure it out. Instead of looking at the total, what is that coming out to a month? Very reasonable in most cases. I pay about $100 less than what that quote is, but I'm in Pennsylvania. Now, I moved from the state of New Jersey to Pennsylvania, and my insurance, this was back in 1999. My car insurance was like $1,200 a year back then. Went down to about $600, but different states are going to be different. So for you being in New York, I think that's very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
We got a question from Jose Sanchez. Do you guys always use USPS or sometimes UPS or FedEx for FBM? In other words, are we using any other services besides UPS to get that product into the Amazon warehouses? Nate, you want to take that?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Whichever's,
whatever's cheaper.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, is it FBM or FBA?
FBM.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's FBM. I'm sorry. Yeah, and that's definitely, thanks for catching that. That's definitely one you wanna look and see.
Whatever's most economical.
Right at that moment, you check.
That's your money. It's your money.
Mm-hmm.
It's your money.
Although recently, FedEx, I have experienced a lot of problems with FedEx, so I don't know what's going on with them, but I try to stay away from them at this time.
Okay.
They're a little slow.
They're catching up. Their partner, they all the time during the season, they partnered up with Amazon, so a lot of their focus is going on catching that Amazon freight, and that's what's happening. So they're going to get slow because they're putting the business all towards Amazon. Because even you'll see it with UPS too. They'll start doing it.
Well, that's interesting because I'm getting a lot of reimbursements, or excuse me, not reimbursements, but returns because fulfillment promise missed on my FBA merchandise, which is pretty annoying.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are getting, what did you say, Karen? You're getting what that's annoying?
Amazon is missing the fulfillment promise whenever the delivery date that the customers are expecting, those dates are missed, and so customers are turning around and then saying, "No, I don't want it now because you got it here too late." And so then Amazon pulls the money from my account.
And Amazon, at this point, the product has been shipped.
Yes.
The merchandise was at the warehouse.
Oh.
And it was an FBA order, right? So the customer ordered it, and Amazon said it'll be there on Tuesday, but it didn't get there on Tuesday. And so customers can say, "Well, listen, you didn't get it here by Tuesday, so I don't want it anymore."
And do they do a redirect? This is assuming that it hasn't even arrived to the customer yet, right?
Well, it might arrive. It might have arrived. It just arrived late, and then Amazon charges me for them to ship it back.
if we can get them to even do it, you know.
To the warehouse.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
going to start to see more of that come. Is it Black Friday? After Black Friday, you're going to start to see more of that. So get ready.
guys, real quick, if you're interested in the software, sourcing software, tactical arbitrage, all of us that you see on the panel right now either have had experience with it or we currently use it. It is a wonderful software. And what I encourage you to do is go right on this channel and watch the Lightning series. There's a whole series of videos to teach you how to use that software. This is all free. You don't have to go anywhere, sign up for anything, but we encourage you to use that software. So take the Lightning courses. They were designed to be very quick, brief, and to get you where you can start searching quickly, because the software isn't all of that user friendly. It can be quite intimidating because there's so much that you can do. You might want to just get right to the point. Then when you do, you can start using Tactical Forecaster so that you can actually see right away what you're actually approved to sell. For anybody that's new to Amazon, you're going to learn real quick. You don't just come out to that platform and just sell what you want, or as I would say, what you want. you gotta make your bones. There's plenty that you can sell, so do not be discouraged if you're gated in what seems like everything. No, you're not. There's plenty for you to get started in. But to use that software and have pages and pages of results, hundreds, if not thousands, it can be very daunting to click on each check restrictions button. So take care of that. Let's go back over to the questions and see if we got anything. Let's see. Nope. Okay, guys, we're coming up on just about 10 minutes left. So if you have any questions, any final thoughts, anything you would like to share, make sure you take advantage of.
Well, while we're waiting, I have to say I've never done a listing before. The idea of creating a listing is intimidating to me. Is it hard to do?
No, ma'am. Call me.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like that, huh?
Can I call you too, Elizabeth?
It's just like if you sell on other platforms, you create your own listing. It's the exact same thing.
Yes.
You got to take the pictures. The difference with creating a listing on Amazon is when they say the background needs to be white, it really needs to be white, like snow white, blinding white. So if you have the lightning button on your camera, or extra lighting,
Just photo room. Just tell them to
or
photo room.
one of those apps like Photo Room that adjusts the color or takes the back, all of that. That's the biggest pet peeve. If it's not bright enough, they won't even accept it.
Oh, well, that part's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk. Thanks.
Looks like we got another question. Sorry, guys. Somehow my system kicked me out. I don't know why. So that's bad. Looks like WV says seems to have a lot of issues in TA when it comes to product matching. For example, the picture images and also the source is per item, and Amazon might have it like a multi-pack. What you got to understand, guys, when you decide to use the software Tactical Arbitrage, it is not perfect. It is not perfect. Okay, if you're finding, for example, if you're finding mismatches, those are the same mismatches that you would find if you were doing this by hand. Has anybody ever done this by hand? Go out to each website, find a product, then try and copy the name, paste it into Amazon and find a match and go through, and things don't match. Oh, it's the same thing. It's going to happen, except what you can get done in a matter of minutes will have taken you hours. So understand, you're going to get a lot of mismatches. You're going to get a lot of data that's just not useful at the moment. But take heart and just go through your results. It's just part of the process. You're going to get a lot of mismatches, but you're also going to get a lot of products that you can sell. And on that note, if you need help, hey, why don't you join the Arbitrage Total Training System? We have that available. The link is in the description, and with that, you get ungated leads, you get coaching and all of this kind of stuff. You can try it absolutely free, and you get access to me, La Machine. So if you're new and you really need some help and you want to get that jump start, you can go ahead and do that. Let's see if we got.
Can I just add something to that?
Sure.
Horace? I was going to say, I understand, and that's really frustrating. It's frustrating for all of us. It is, in fact, though, the work of this work, right, of finding products. It is work,
It is.
Going back and forth. It's really work, but it is the main work. That said, a plug for Tactical Forecaster, because it reduced my frustration tremendously to have one less thing to have to check. You have to check the Amazon image and the store image and make sure everything works there. So how about you, when you do all of that checking and everything seems to work out, you looked at the graphs, everything looks good, and you clicked on to see if you're restricted, and you find that you're restricted. Oh, that is so disheartening. So to have even one less thing to click on, to have, and again, it's not absolutely perfect.
No.
However, it allows you to just scroll through much faster. And if it looks like I might be gated or restricted, then I don't even spend time looking to see if the images match, if the number of product is the same. Just never mind any of that. So
that's huge, because the first thing you really want to know, if you're not able to sell the product, how much time do you really want to spend on it? The time you spend on it could prove valuable later, because you're being alerted, hey, this is a popular product. I keep seeing this. There must be something to this. Okay? And later when I get auto approved, or later when I decide it's worth the investment to get ungated in it, I know I've seen that. So it could have benefits down the road. If you're serious about this business, there's a lot of things that you're going to see in tactical arbitrage that prove beneficial later on. But like Karen is saying, you ain't really got time. Some of us work regular jobs, like myself, like Sarah. You ain't got time to be worried about checking all of those steps only to find out you can't even sell the product. What you want to do is actually see, can I sell the product? If so, then let's look at some other things that are going to be involved. Take my time and my greatest resource, which is my mind, my thinking. You see, because you got to be able to evaluate. Okay, if you don't know what you're doing, we got a video out here that talks about my 7 steps to be able to evaluate. The biggest skill you're going to learn is how to evaluate whether or not there is potential profit in a product, whether or not the likelihood that you're going to sell the product in a reasonable amount of time is there. You can ask Nate. Nate will tell you, when you learn those skills, your biggest problem is having the money. You're going to run out of money because the deals are there, people. You can do this. You can do this.
Yeah.
So,
Nate also said something that really helped me with sort of sticking to it, which was just, get yourself a pad of paper and write down your goal for the day is to find 5 products. So, somehow psychologically, I'm just in there thinking, all right, I found one. Just hang in there, because, okay, here's 2. Once I get to 5, I'm done for the day. Session over. But
Right.
it just psychologically that helped me a lot. So I want to thank you, Nate, for that because that really helped me.
And here's the beauty. I want any of the panelists to weigh in on this after. Here's the beauty of this, guys. When you put the time in, before you know it, you'll start to actually have so many replenishables that are constantly, they become the foundation of the business. And that's where you're getting your regular sales. And then if you're sourcing 5 new products a day or whatever it may be, you keep adding. And of those that you add, some of them are going to turn out good, some of them some of them are not. But in the end, you keep adding more and more dependable replenishables, and it just continues to grow. And Sarah was saying something much earlier in the program. She was saying she wants to get more into bundles. I've heard it said, if rather than scanning a product at the store using your seller app, in the seller app, type the name, and a lot of times you'll see different types of bundles and multi-packs. So that's just another tip. Okay, scanning the product doesn't always get you all of the results, all of the current listings on that particular item and the different variations. So, but what do most people want to do? Scan. They don't want to type. Type takes a little more time. Got to use your fingers. Don't want to do it. Start doing those little things that other people aren't doing. You'll start getting other results. Go ahead.
On that, you don't always have to type. Most of the phones, they have a microphone. You push a little button and you say, what is it? Arrowhead water. And it'll bring up Arrowhead water. It'll bring up.
So you ain't even got to type.
Listings. No.
You know, now you might be able, you know, I might just want to type because I don't really like to talk. I'm a little shy, so you know, I don't talk. I might be too ashamed to say something, so I might type. But you got options, hustlers. You got options. Let's see. Somebody got another question, I think. How is the tips to source from eBay? That's a good question. Is anybody sourcing products to sell on Amazon? Are they sourcing them at eBay? I have done it, and I've done it very successfully. I've had products, not a lot, but when I do find one, oh man, it's definitely replenishable. And anybody want to take that? Any anecdotal things you want to add?
I can comment. So all the other platforms, everyone has their own reason for selling. Some people just need to make money fast. Some people are doing this like we do. This is what we do for a living. Some people are doing it as a side hustle. So you don't know what that person's situation is. I'm not really good with vintage stuff. So I might have something that I don't really know the true value of. Let's say a vintage t-shirt. I might have it listed for like $25 and it's actually a $300 shirt. Someone who's very well versed in vintage will see that and say, buy now, because they don't know what they have. A lot of times the sellers don't really know what they have. They just know it's a nice looking, or it's odd looking, or it's new, or they're kind of sort of familiar. Sometimes they underprice what they have, and you can just swoop in, get it, and resell it on your platform. Now, we did that a few times where we saw a few items that we knew were worth a lot of money. And they were selling it dirt cheap. So we bought them and we resold them at a higher price.
I think can you unpack this, Elizabeth? I think the problem that a lot of people have, they're a little weary because they think that eBay sellers aren't as trustworthy. You might end up with counterfeit. Help us dispel some of the, some of the sort of things that would make us a little weary about purchasing on eBay in terms of authenticity, trustworthiness.
For me, what I do is I prefer high-rated sellers. You can see their ratings. You can actually see their reviews, what their previous customers have said about them, especially if they're recent reviews. And you can see in their store the type of items that they sell. So if they sell a lot of name brand stuff, and all the reviews are great, perfect, wonderful, this, that, and the other, then you know that you can trust that person. I'm not going to buy, especially an expensive item, like these high-priced tennis shoes, like the Jordans and all the other things. I'm not going to buy something like that from someone who has 0 ratings. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere, but I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on someone with no rating. So you can always review their ratings. I prefer top sellers or sellers with 500 or higher ratings. And even if it's a seller with a lower rating, I just read all their reviews. As long as they're good and they're recent, I'm willing to give it a try. Now, I buy using PayPal, because PayPal protects you. If it's something wrong, you put in a claim with eBay, you put in a claim with PayPal, you'll get your money back. Or you can also try buying with a credit card. A lot of credit cards have protections when you make a purchase. You can find out from your credit card company and see if they offer that as well. So there's a lot of ways you can get protected. It's not like you're going to meet someone in person and then you have no protection for them.
Yeah. Excellent.
I've had great success with eBay too. I just real quick want to say, Elizabeth, you're right. You don't know who the sellers are exactly, but clearly all eBay sellers get ratings. And I ended up finding a seller, or someone brought this seller to my attention, to give fair credit, that had a bulk of a product. So I probably bought, over time, I did a test lot, and then I probably purchased more than 100 of the same item from this person. She was willing to create a private listing for me so that I could buy 40 at a time, 20 at a time. I think I ordered from her 3 times. And through the interaction, I learned that this was a person who has a storefront and buys, what do you call it? The big...
liquidations?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Liquidations?
No, she buys, not by the box, but by the...
Case.
Truckload.
Oh, okay.
You know, she buys products by the truckload.
Oh, like by the pallet.
By the pallet. She buys pallets. And in her pallet, she just happened to have this particular product. Well, that product sold like wildfire. I could not get it in fast enough. So, you know, she ended up saying, thanks so much. This is the best, you know, month I've had on eBay. And I thought to myself, well, thank you, because it was a great month on Amazon. So you just don't know what the circumstances are, but if you rely on the reviews, I think it's fairly safe.
Okay, Mikey's in the building. For those who don't know,
hi, Mikey.
Hey,
Mike is one of the working class hustlers, and he's a go-getter. He's got a question about customer returns that are damaged. How can I file a claim against that? Does anybody want to take that?
Safety claim?
A customer returned an item, and I guess that item came back to Mikey damaged.
Right. Isn't it, Elizabeth, is it called a safety claim that we have to, as sellers, file? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
You probably know more about it than I do, so take the question. But
you can either go into Seller Central and put in the search safety claim, like she said, or you can go through the actual return tab, click on the order, and in there will be a place for you to request a review. And if you still have to do the refund, because a lot of times they're refunding already, you can do an automatic partial. If it's damaged, you can get up to 50% back. So you can, if the refund is still available for you to send, only do half the refund, and you have to put in the comments why, but you also have to supply pictures to Amazon. So take really good pictures of the package, of the item, and let's say if it was new, and you take pictures as damaged, you obviously can't sell in the same condition. They'll open a case, and if you can prove the damage, they'll approve it, and they'll give you your 50%.
That's huge, because that's the difference between taking 100% loss or recouping some of that money. That is big. We got time for one more question, guys. We're already about 5 minutes over our allotted time, and we want to thank all of our guests. If you have not, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up button. Take care of your channel. What to sell on Amazon. WV says, if I am a new seller and I list an item that already has 10 sellers, each seller has about 10 units, when will I get the buy box? Still don't know how this criteria works. Now, I'll take it first and then I'll turn it over. In my experience, Amazon, as long as we're all on the same price, Amazon will rotate between us. In my experience, that can depend on a lot of things. I'm constantly showing. I am constantly showing that anymore the buy box is not always controlled by FBA. I've seen the buy box being controlled by merchant, and that could be what Amazon is showing you based on where you happen to be located. Amazon has really a main goal, an overarching theme, if you will, that is getting that customer that product as soon as possible. If they think that they can get it, if they know they can depend on Karen's doing it merchant fulfilled, and you're located closer to Karen, they may show you Karen's in the buy box. But theoretically, and in my experience generally, if we're all on the same price and we're all FBA, they will rotate between us fairly evenly. Anybody want to take that?
I agree. I think what contributes to that is your ratings.
Yeah.
So if you and I are on the same listing and your rating's 100% and mine is 95, even though I'm a little bit cheaper, you're going to get it first. That's just from what we've seen on the listings that we've been on.
Okay. Let me throw in a question for the panelists, and I love this one as well because I get a lot of hustlers reaching out to me. And one more time, by the way, if you want to reach out to me, text the words Working Class Hustler. It's the number on your screen. But I'll have hustlers saying, hey, I found a good product. Everything looks good. Keep a chart, profit margins, everything. But there's no buy box. Would you get on that? And I say, yes, I prefer listings that don't have a buy box. Why? Because the buy box gives us all something to try and control, something to fight over, and something to tank the price about. If there's no buy box, the customer has to make a decision that you can't control. If there's a buy box, the customer's his thinking is pretty much out of the equation. He just sees an add to cart button and he clicks on it. And a lot of times he's oblivious to the fact that there's 15 people selling. All he knows is he clicked add to cart. I kind of like listings without a buy box because it keeps us from fighting and doing a lot of dumb stuff trying to control the buy box. Anybody want to add to that?
Well, that's a good thing because sometimes if there's no buy box, you put your price in and then you become the buy box at your price.
Pretty much, yeah. So, okay, well.
Add to Mikey said that order was FBA. It doesn't matter. So what you would do is you go to safety claim. And you open a safety claim, you're going to open a case. And you submit your pictures, they'll review it. And as long as you can prove damage, you'll still get a refund. A partial refund.
Oh, Lord. Manuel said they put his account at risk for deactivation because he got, I hope this isn't, am I reading this right? He got six. I hope that's not 61.
61.
But negative reviews. Does that status stay forever? No. I think there's a period where that will be lifted, right? And they'll take his account, put it back in a healthy status. I don't know what that
time. I think it's either 6 months or is it a year?
Oh Lord.
I think it might be 6 months. But with the negative reviews, make sure you look at them and see if they're valid negative reviews, because
try to get it removed.
Negative reviews for FBA shipping problems, and all we do is we dispute it. They look at it, they see, oh, this was fulfilled by Amazon, the seller's not responsible, and then they put a line through it and they take that off your negative count.
Okay, he corrected his number of 65 negative reviews, and I'm still confused because he always puts a space between numbers.
Looks like 65 though.
Oh Lord!
Looks like 65 here.
If you got that many negative reviews, Manuel, what are you doing? I ain't had that, and I've been out here on Amazon since 2008.
Then he says only one, so one negative.
Oh, one. Okay. All right. I don't know. Then that means your account is new. There's no way that one review could put you in a percentile that puts you at risk. You gotta. What you need to do is start selling more and be careful. I don't know what the review was about.
Yes.
But you better be careful. So
maybe he should give you a call. You all talk it through.
Yeah. Why don't you
or text you?
Give me a text. Let's get connected, and we'll figure that out. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you all. Take a look at your working class hustler panel. Look at them. They are here for your benefit. I want you all to wave goodbye, panelists. Wave goodbye to the working class hustlers of America and all across the globe. These panelists came out here and gave of their precious, irreplaceable time for your benefit. Thank you to all who gave thumbs up. Thank you to all who participated. That's what this was about. If we did not get to your question, your comment, or your concern, feel free to leave a comment and we will address it. Make sure you sign up for the Working Class Hustler cheat sheet. Take advantage of all of the material that is available to you down in the description, all for your benefit. We love you all, and we're going to say goodbye to the panelists. Hang out with me. Do not leave. We have an after actions review to have. But to the rest of the Working Class Hustlers, good night. Good night, everybody.
Bye.